Welcome back to the Dirty Rhetoric podcast. I'm Peter Pascal, and for today's session, we're putting Senator Bernie Sanders in the hot seat and highlighting a little rhetorical technique that we call fun phrase. Rhetoric isn't just for speakers, it's also very much for writers. It will sharpen and refine your message, and it's a sharpening process that makes it perfect if you ever need to create a message in 140 characters or less. That's right, we're talking Twitter, and that's just what Bernie Sanders recently did. Here's the quote, or in this case, the much reported tweet. If a bank is too big to fail, it's too big to exist. Bernie Sanders originally said this during an interview with Face the Nation, and then turned it around beautifully as a tweeted micromessage. And its power all comes down to those fabulously repeated B sounds. If a bank is too big to fail, it's too big to exist. A lot of great phrases rely on repetition patterns. These patterns can be made up of whole phrases or individual words, or the repetition of a certain sound. And here we've got a repetition on the letter B. When you repeat consonants like this, the technical term is consonance. It doesn't even have to be the same consonant. It can be different letters so long as they sound the same. For example, in the Dirty Rhetoric Toolkit, we chose the name fun phrase because even though fun and phrase have different opening letters, they both produce the same sound, F. Aha, I hear some of you saying, if this technique so heavily relies on sound, then how come it also works when written? Surely you've lost the sound. Well, not quite. And that's because even when we're reading, we still hear the sounds of the words in our heads. And the shorter the message, the more strongly we hear those sounds. So, back to Bernie. Bernie Sanders has chosen the letter B. Big banks big. And B has a special quality as a consonant. It's called a plosive. Now, plosive consonants are formed by the lips. As you say B and P, your cheeks puff out and your lips explode the sound forward. These plosive lip consonants create a beat to your words like nothing else. It's a powerful sound. And it's no accident that the letters B and P bring us words like best and bright and brilliant and power and pride and perfect. Choosing your consonants to create a fun phrase leads us to think about sound and rhythm and also the different functions that certain sounds will create. For example, let's think of G and T and K. They're tight staccato sounds. They're also plosive. They're just formed in a different way. Rather than your lips doing the work, they're formed by a quick flick of the tongue. Think of the sound that a clock makes as it goes tick-tock, or that most famous of monkeys, King Kong. It will grab an audience. Well, the plosive sound will grab an audience, not King Kong. There are also some consonant sounds to avoid. For example, the dull, downtrodden, deadening tone of D can lower your impact, whilst R and W are the sound most commonly found in tongue twisters. Just remember that it was round the rocks the ragged rascal ran, and you'll see why you really want to, you see what I mean? Why you really want to run away from repeating R and W sounds as much as you can. Let's talk about the S sounds that we get from S and C. That sibilantly hissing S produces a sinister effect, which I certainly suggest you sidestep. It only really works on Halloween, and besides, it can lead you to spit all over your audience. So, for your own presenting and writing, play with consonants, play with the fun phrase. They're like different instruments in an orchestra. They'll give you a variety of effects. You've got the big bass drum of B and P. You've got the kick of percussion with G and T and K. And yes, you do also have that string section. But that's all the S sounds, the S. So you use that one with care and awareness. It'll summon sinister. But if that's the effect you're reaching for, then perfect. That's your tool. So, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. We really hope you enjoy playing with rhetoric, and we hope that you'll come and visit us at www.dirtyrhetoric.com. You'll find a lot more ideas about how you can wrap rhetoric into your presenting and writing, and you'll also find about our exciting launch on Kickstarter and the Dirty Rhetoric Toolkit. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward till next time. Bye-bye.